The moment you are in seems to be sliding forward, carrying you from one breath into the next. But nothing about time actually moves. The equations of physics do not contain a flowing present. They do not mark a now that travels. Past, present, and future may all simply exist, complete and still, while the sense of motion happens only inside you. Tonight, we sit with that quiet unease together. If it helps you drift, a like or a subscribe. Let's Midnight Science keep making these. Tell me softly, where are you, and what hour is it there? Notice the moment you are in right now. Not the room around you, not the sounds at the edge of your hearing, but the moment itself, the bare fact of now. It seems to be here, fully present, and then it seems to be gone, replaced by another now that was, a breath ago, still the future. You did not have to learn this. No one taught it to you. Before you had language, before you had a single word for time, you already knew this one thing in your body, that the present is always arriving and always leaving, that you are being carried forward through something, that the next moment is coming whether you want it to or not. This is the most intimate experience you will ever have, more intimate than any thought, because it underlies every thought, more constant than any feeling, because it holds every feeling. You have never had an experience that was not soaked in this sense of passage. Every joy you have known arrived and departed inside it. Every grief, every ordinary afternoon that you have long since forgotten moved through you on this same quiet current. The flow of time is the water you swim in, and like the fish who has never once considered water, you have almost never stopped to consider it. Tonight we are going to stop and consider it. Let me tell you what I mean by the flow of time, because the whole of what follows depends on us being precise about this one felt thing. I do not mean the ticking of a clock. I do not mean the numbers changing on a screen beside your bed. I mean something that happens beneath all of that, something the clock is only trying to measure. I mean the sensation that this instant, the one you are living in as these words reach you, is somehow special, somehow lit up, somehow more real than the instants behind it and the instants ahead. I mean the feeling that this lit up now is moving, sliding along, that it was a moment ago somewhere behind you and will be in a moment somewhere ahead, and that you are riding it like a small boat on a river that never stops. Think about how total that feeling is. It does not come and go. It does not wait for you to summon it. Close your eyes right now and you will still feel it. The soft pressure of one moment giving way to the next. The sense that time is passing even in the dark, even in stillness, even when nothing at all seems to be happening. Lie perfectly still and hold your breath and try to make time stop, and you will find that it will not stop. It keeps moving. It moves without your permission. It moves without your effort. It is the one thing you can never pause, never rewind, never hold in your hand long enough to look at. And here is the strange part. Here is the thing we almost never notice, because we are too busy living inside it to see it. We have never once asked whether this feeling is true. We ask whether other feelings are true all the time. You feel that the ground beneath you is solid and unmoving, and yet you know, because someone taught you, that it is spinning, hurtling around a star, drifting through a galaxy at a speed you cannot begin to sense. You feel that the sky is a dome above you, and you know it is not a dome at all, but an ocean of empty distance with no ceiling anywhere. You feel that the sun rises and crosses overhead and sets, and you know it is you who turns, not the sun who travels. You have learned again and again that the way things feel is not always the way things are. You have made peace with this. It is one of the quiet triumphs of being a thinking creature, this willingness to trust the measured truth over the immediate impression. But the flow of time has escaped this scrutiny. It has slipped past every checkpoint. It feels so obvious, so foundational, so utterly beyond question, that we have simply never turned the lamp on it. We treat it not as a claim about the world that might be tested, but as the floor on which all other claims stand, the ground of grounds, the one thing too basic to doubt. Tonight we are going to doubt it, not to unsettle you for its own sake, not to play a clever game, but because when you follow the physics carefully, patiently, all the way down, you arrive at something quiet and astonishing. You arrive at the possibility that nothing about time actually moves, that the flow you feel so certainly, the current that seems to carry you from moment to moment, may not be a feature of the universe at all. That the equations which describe reality with staggering precision, the equations that put spacecraft on distant worlds and predict the behavior of particles smaller than thought, contain no flowing present anywhere inside them, no now that travels, no moving edge where the future turns into the past, nothing that moves. Let me say that again, more slowly, because it is easy to hear and hard to hold. The deepest descriptions we have of how the world works do not include the passage of time. They describe a universe in which past and future may simply be laid out and complete, with no special moments sweeping through them. And yet here you are, feeling the passage anyway, feeling it right now, certain of it. So we have a puzzle. On one side, the overwhelming, unbroken, lifelong experience of time flowing. On the other, a physics that seems to say there is no flow at all. And in between, the two of us, sitting quietly with the question of how both of these things can be true. Here is where we need to be careful. And here is the first move that will guide everything that follows. We are going to separate two things that you have always, without ever deciding to, held together as one. We are going to pull apart the experience of time and the physics of time. These have felt to you like a single thing your whole life. The passing of the hours has seemed to be both a fact about your mind and a fact about the world, the same fact, indivisible. You feel time pass, and the world passes, and these have never seemed like two claims. They have seemed like one, but they are not one. And the entire journey of tonight lives in the gap between them. Think of it like this. There is the world as it is, described by physics, spread out and precise. And there is the world as it seems from inside a living, remembering mind. These two need not match. We have already seen that they often do not, with the spinning ground and the still sky and the traveling sun. The question we are asking tonight is whether the flow of time is one more place where they part ways, whether the passage you feel is a report about the universe or a report about you. And I will tell you now, so that you know where this path leads, so that the open loop is honestly planted and not hidden from you. By the end of this, you will understand why physicists have come to suspect that nothing in the universe is moving through time. You will understand what the equations say, and, just as important, what they refuse to say. And you will understand where the movement you feel is actually happening, because it is happening. That much is not in doubt. The feeling is real. You are not imagining the current, but it may not be flowing where you think it is. It may be flowing somewhere much closer to home, somewhere you carry with you into every room, every night, every moment of your life. For now, though, stay with the feeling itself. Do not rush ahead to the answer. Let us honor the experience before we take it apart, because it deserves honoring. It is the most human thing there is. Consider how the flow of time shapes everything you are. Your entire sense of being a self depends on it. You feel like one continuous person moving through your life because you feel time carrying you along a single thread. Yesterday connects to today, connects to tomorrow, and you are the one walking that line, always at its leading edge, always at the front, always now. You cannot imagine yourself any other way. To be a person is to be someone to whom time is happening, someone in the middle of a story that is still being told, with chapters behind you that are finished and chapters ahead that have not yet been written. And the future feels genuinely open, does it not? It feels like it is rushing toward you, undecided, full of possibility, a wall of what has not yet happened. You lean into it or brace against it, but either way you feel it coming, and the past feels genuinely gone, sealed, unreachable, falling away behind you faster than you can hold it. You cannot go back. You know this in your bones. The moment that just passed is already beyond your reach forever, and you feel its loss as a kind of soft, continuous ache that you have grown so used to you no longer name it. This is the shape of ordinary experience. The open future ahead rushing in, the closed past behind, slipping away, and you suspended at the single bright point between them, the point that is always moving, the point you call now. It feels less like a fact and more like the very stage on which all facts appear. It feels beyond argument. But notice, even now, a small strangeness hiding inside it. If the now is always moving, moving through what? Moving how fast? A river moves at some speed, so many meters in a second. How fast does the present move? 1 second per second. And the moment you say that aloud, something wobbles. 1 second per second is not a speed at all. It is a statement that says nothing. It measures time against itself and finds, of course, that they match. The river metaphor begins to leak the instant you press on it. Where is the riverbank the present is moving past? What is the water made of? What lies outside the flow, watching it flow? Feel the ground grow slightly less solid under that question. We will return to it. For now, it is enough to notice that the flow of time, the most obvious thing in the world, becomes oddly difficult to describe the moment you try to describe it plainly. You know exactly what it feels like. You cannot say what it is. That gap between the certainty of the feeling and the emptiness of the description is the first small crack. And through that crack, over the parts to come, we are going to look. So here is where we stand. You have a feeling you have trusted absolutely and never examined. You have a physics that quietly declines to include that feeling in its account of the world. And you have a promise, made honestly, that we will follow this all the way down, gently, in order, until the two are reconciled and you can see clearly what moves and what does not. To do that, we have to leave the warmth of experience for a moment and go to the equations themselves. We have to look at what the fundamental laws of physics actually say about time and, more tellingly, what they leave out. Because the first great surprise is not something physicists added to their theories. It is something they went looking for and could not find, a missing piece where you would have sworn a piece must be. And that absence, that strange silence at the very center of the laws, is what we need to understand next. Picture a single ball rolling across a smooth table. It leaves one edge, crosses the surface, and arrives at the other side. Simple. You have seen 1,000 versions of this: a marble across a floor, a stone skimming ice, a planet swinging around its star. Now, imagine we filmed this ball rolling, and then we played the film backward. What would you see? A ball rolling the other way across the table. And here is the first quiet surprise, the one we build everything on. If all you saw was the ball, with nothing else in view, no clock, no hand pushing it, no clue about which way was which, you could not tell which version was the real footage and which was the reversal. Both look like a ball rolling across a table. Both obey the laws of motion perfectly. Neither one breaks a single rule. Think about what that means. The laws that govern the ball do not care which direction time runs. Feed them the ball going left to right, and they describe it flawlessly. Feed them the ball going right to left, the film reversed, and they describe that flawlessly too. The equations have no preference. They do not contain anywhere inside them an instruction that says this way is forward and that way is backward. They are, in the language physicists use, time symmetric. They run the same in both directions. Now you might think this is a trick of the example. A rolling ball is too simple, too clean. Surely with something more complicated, something more real, the direction of time would show itself. But it does not. Take the motion of the planets, the most precisely predicted phenomenon in all of science. The equations that place the planets in their orbits, that told us where to point a telescope centuries in advance, work identically whether you run them forward or backward. Point them at the future and they tell you where Mars will be. Point them at the past and they tell you where Mars was. They do not distinguish. To the equations, the future and the past are the same kind of thing, reached by the same calculation, differing only in the sign of a number, not in their nature. This holds far deeper than planets and balls. Reach down into the laws that govern the smallest pieces of the world, the behavior of particles and fields, the rules underneath everything. There too, the fundamental equations run the same in both directions of time. The forward process and the backward process are both allowed, both legal, both perfectly described. Nowhere, at any level we have found, do the basic laws single out a direction. Nowhere do they say now. Nowhere do they mark a present moment and set it moving. Let this land, because it is genuinely strange. You live your entire life inside a rushing sense of forward. Forward is obvious. Forward is everything. And yet when we write down the deepest laws of the universe, the laws that describe reality with a precision that borders on the unbelievable, the forward is simply not there. It is missing. Not hidden, not implied, not waiting to be discovered in some finer version of the theory. Missing in the way a color is missing from a language that never named it. The equations describe how things relate to one another across time, but they do not contain a moment that is happening now, and they do not contain a flow that carries that moment along. Let me put this differently to make sure the picture is clear. Imagine you are handed the complete description of some stretch of the world, every particle, every field, everything laid out across a span of time. The physics can tell you how any slice of that span connects to any other slice. Given this slice, it can produce the next and the next, or just as easily the one before and the one before that. What the physics cannot do, what it has no way even to express, is point at one of those slices and say, this one, this is the real one. This is now, and the others are memory or expectation. There is no such pointer in the equations. Every slice is described in exactly the same way as every other. None is lit up, none is special, none is moving. And this is where a strange and beautiful idea enters. An idea that follows almost inevitably once you take the equation seriously. If the laws treat every moment the same, if no moment is singled out as the true present, then perhaps the honest picture of reality is not a moving now at all. Perhaps it is something else entirely. Perhaps every moment simply exists, all of them together, with equal reality. This picture has a name. It is often called the block universe. And I want to walk you into it slowly, in plain words first, before we attach it to any theory, because it is one of the most consequential ideas you can hold, and it deserves to be understood and not just labeled. Here is the block universe, said as simply as it can be said. Think of the past, the present, and the future, not as three different conditions, one gone, one here, one not yet arrived, but as three regions of a single thing that all exist in the same way. The morning of your birth is not gone, it is elsewhere. Tomorrow is not waiting to be created, it is already there, elsewhere in the same structure. Every moment that has ever been and every moment that ever will be exists, laid out, complete, like a landscape stretching in every direction. And what you call the present is not a special glowing point moving across that landscape. It is simply where you happen to be standing. The way the place you are right now in a country is not more real than the cities you have left or the cities you have not yet visited. They are all there. You are just here. Let me hold that image for a moment, because it inverts everything the feeling told you. The feeling said, the present is real, and the past is gone, and the future does not yet exist. The block universe says all of it exists, equally, always. And the difference between past and future is not a difference between what is real and what is not. It is more like a difference between directions. behind you and ahead of you, both there, both solid, you facing one way. The river is gone in this picture, replaced by a landscape. Time is not a current sweeping you forward through moments that flare into being and then vanish. Time is a dimension, laid out like the dimensions of space, and all of it simply is. You do not move through it any more than a long road moves through the countryside. The road is just long, and it is all there at once, every mile of it, whether or not anyone is standing on any particular mile. Now, where does this idea come from? It would be one thing if it were only a philosopher's fancy, a way of talking that we could take or leave. But it is not. It comes from physics itself, and specifically from relativity, from the discovery of how space and time actually fit together. And to see why relativity pushes us toward the landscape and away from the river, we have to correct one more piece of the intuition, perhaps the deepest piece of all. You believe, without ever having chosen to believe it, that there is a single universal present, and now that is the same everywhere. You believe that at this very instant, as you lie here, there is a fact about what is happening on the far side of the world and on the far side of the galaxy, right now, in the same now as yours. That the whole universe shares a single present moment, one great sheet of now stretched across all of space, and that this sheet advances together, everywhere at once, tick by tick, carrying all of reality forward in step. It is the most natural thing in the world to believe, and relativity tells us it is not true. I will not unfold the full reason yet, because it deserves a part of its own, and we will give it one. But I want to plant the shape of it here, so that you can feel the ground shifting. Relativity revealed that space and time are not separate stages, one holding places and the other holding moments. They are woven together into a single fabric, and the way that fabric is sliced into what is happening now depends on how you are moving through it. Two observers, moving differently, will slice the fabric differently. They will not agree on which distant events are happening at the same time. What is now for one of them is not now for the other, and neither of them is mistaken. Sit with the weight of that, even before we prove it. If there is no single slice of now that everyone shares, if the present is different depending on how you move, then there is no universal now to sweep forward. There is no one great sheet of the present advancing through reality in unison, because there is no one sheet at all. There are many tilted against each other, each as valid as the next. And a river needs a single current. A flow needs one direction of one, now moving as one. Take away the shared present, and you have taken away the very thing that could flow. This is why the equations do not contain a moving now. It is not an oversight. It is not a gap waiting to be filled. It is that the structure of space and time, as we have actually found it to be, leaves no room for a universal present, and therefore leaves no room for a universal flow. The block universe is not a strange interpretation bolted onto the physics. It is close to what the physics says when you stop insisting that it match the feeling and simply listen to what it tells you. So here is where we stand now, and notice how far we have come from the warmth of the opening. We began with a feeling of flow, so total we had never questioned it. We looked into the fundamental laws and found that they contain no forward direction at all, that they run the same whether time is read one way or the other. And we found that this points toward a picture in which every moment exists equally, laid out like a landscape rather than rushing by like a river, a picture that relativity does not merely permit but seems to demand. And yet, we have only touched the edge of the strangeness, because so far I have let you keep imagining that at least the landscape is one landscape shared by all of us, even if nothing flows across it. I have let you picture a single vast structure of all moments, fixed and complete, the same for everyone who looks. But that comfort too is about to go. The deeper truth is not only that there is no flowing present, it is that there is no single present to begin with, not even a still one. The now is not just motionless, it is not even one thing. And to understand how that can be, we have to look closely at the discovery that broke the shared present apart, and see, with our own eyes, how two people can each be perfectly right about what is happening now and completely disagree. That is what we turn to next. Let us begin with something you feel certain about. Right now, as you lie here, there is a moment called now, and you believe deep beneath thought that this now extends outward, that it reaches past the walls of your room, past your city, past the curve of the earth, out to the farthest stars, and that everywhere it reaches, it is the same now. You believe that when you say this instant, you are naming a moment shared by all of reality at once, a single present stretched across everything. This belief is so quiet you have never heard yourself make it, but you make it constantly. When you wonder what someone far away is doing right now, you assume there is a fact about their right now that lines up with yours. When you imagine the universe carrying on beyond your sight, you picture it carrying on in the present, your present, the same one. The now feels like a sheet laid flat across all of space, and every point on that sheet, near and far, is happening together. Relativity took that sheet and tore it. Let me show you how, not with equations, but with something you can feel in your body. And to do it, I want to give you a name to hold on to, because this discovery belongs to a person. It was Albert Einstein who, at the start of the last century, saw what no one before him had let themselves see. He began from two modest facts, both already known, and followed them with a discipline that most people flinch away from. He refused to add the shared present back in just because it felt necessary. And what he found was that it is not necessary. It is not even true. Here is the heart of it. Imagine you are standing exactly in the middle of a very long train, one that is moving smoothly down a straight track. At the front of the train and at the back of the train, two small lights are set to flash. You are in the center, precisely between them. The light from the front and the light from the back each travels toward you. And because you are exactly in the middle, and because light moves at a fixed speed, the two flashes reach your eyes at the very same instant. You see them together, and so you say, correctly, from where you stand, those two flashes happened at the same time. They were simultaneous. They shared a now. Now place another person outside the train, standing beside the track, watching it pass. As the train rushes by, the flashes happen. But think carefully about what this outside observer sees. During the tiny time it takes the light to travel, the train has moved. The front of the train is speeding away from the point where its flash was born. The back of the train is rushing toward the point where its flash was born. So the light from the back has a shorter distance to cover to reach the outside observer's line of sight, and the light from the front has a longer distance. The outside observer does not see the flashes together. This person sees the back flash first and the front flash after. Read that again slowly, because everything turns on it. You, on the train, saw the two flashes as simultaneous. The person beside the track saw them as separated in time, one before the other. And here is what you must not let slip past you. Neither of you is wrong. Neither of you made a mistake. There is no hidden true answer that one of you got and the other missed. You are both correct. For you, the flashes were the same moment. For the observer on the ground, they were different moments. Both descriptions are complete. Both are valid. The universe does not step in to settle it, because there is nothing to settle. Think about what this means. Two events that share a single now for you do not share a now for someone moving differently. Simultaneity, the very thing that defines what counts as happening at the same time, is not fixed. It depends on your motion. Change how you are moving, and you change which events fall together into now and which do not. And this is not a story about lights and trains. The train is only a way to make it visible. This is a fact about the structure of time itself. It has a name that sounds technical but describes something simple once you have felt it. The relativity of simultaneity. Simultaneity is relative. Whether two things happen at the same time is not a feature of the things. It is a feature of the things together with how you move. Let me push this further, because the train is gentle and the truth is not. On a train, the effect is unimaginably tiny, far too small to notice, because the train moves so slowly compared to light. But the size of the effect is not the point. The existence of it is the point. And when we stretch the distances outward, the effect stops being tiny and becomes staggering. Imagine two people passing each other on a street, one walking, one still, an ordinary moment. Now ask about their two nows, not here on the street, but out at some enormous distance, say a galaxy far across the visible universe. Because of the relativity of simultaneity, the walking person's now extended out to that distant galaxy, and the standing person's now extended out to the same galaxy do not match. They differ. And across such a vast distance, even the slow difference of a walking pace stretches into a gap of many years. For one of them, an event in that distant galaxy is happening now. For the other, walking past at a stroll, that same event lies far in the past or far in the future. Two people on the same sidewalk, sharing what seems obviously the same moment, disagree by years about what is happening now in a distant place, and neither of them is wrong. Feel the ground go. This is the pivot. This is where curiosity turns into something colder and stranger. There is no shared now, not a still one, not a moving one, not any. Your now is yours. It is not a sheet across all of space. It is more like a tilted slice through reality, and the tilt depends on your motion. and someone moving differently has a different slice, tilted differently, cutting through the block of all events at a different angle. There now scoops up events that for you are still in the future. There now leaves behind events that for you have not yet happened. Both slices are real, both are correct, and the two slices cross. Now hold this against the river we started with. We wanted time to be a flowing present, a single moment advancing through reality, carrying everything forward together. But a flow needs one thing to flow. A current needs a single now moving as one, and we have just watched the single now dissolve in our hands. There is no one present to advance, because there is no one present at all. There are countless presents tilted against each other, one for every possible motion, and no fact of the matter about which is the true one, because they are all equally true. So what could be flowing? What could be moving forward if there is no shared moment to be the thing that moves? Picture it. A cosmic wavefront of now, sweeping through the universe, turning future into past as it passes. That picture requires a single now to be the wavefront. But there is no single now, so there is no wavefront. There is nothing sweeping. There is nothing advancing. The great tide of the present, rolling forward through all of reality in unison, was never there. It could not have been there. The structure of space and time forbids it. Let me say it plainly, in the barest words I can find. The present is not out there in the world, moving. The present is not a thing the universe possesses and carries forward. The now is local. The now is personal. The now is bound to a point of view, to a particular motion, to a particular here. It is not cosmic. It does not extend across everything. It does not march. Yours is yours, and mine is mine, and they need not agree, and there is no larger now above them both to make them agree. And so the moving present, the thing we began by trusting completely, has quietly ceased to exist, not with a crash, with a kind of soft evaporation. We went looking for the flow of time in the world, and we found first that the equations do not contain it, and now we find that they cannot contain it, because the very thing that would have to flow, a single universal now, is not part of how reality is built. There is no river, there is no current, there is no advancing edge of the present, because there is no shared present to advance. Take a slow breath here, because this is a strange place to have arrived. Everything in you still feels the flow. Even now, hearing all of this, you feel time passing. You feel this moment sliding into the next. The certainty has not loosened its grip on your body at all. The physics has emptied out the world, has told you there is nothing flowing anywhere in the great structure of space and time, and yet the feeling remains, undimmed, insistent, right here, right now, carrying you forward exactly as it always has. So we are left facing the sharpest question of all, the one this whole night has been walking toward. If the flow is not in the equations, and cannot be in the equations, if there is no moving now anywhere in the universe outside of you, then what exactly is doing the moving? Something is moving. You feel it. The sensation is not nothing. The current is not imaginary. It is the most real thing you know. So where is it? If it is not in the world, then there is only one other place it can be. It must be in you. And to understand how a still universe can produce, inside a living mind, the overwhelming feeling of a moving one, we have to turn away from the stars for a while and look instead at the one instrument that has been generating this feeling all along. We have to look at what makes the flow. We have to look at memory. So we come back inside, away from the trains and the distant galaxies, away from the tilted slices of now, back to the small warm space behind your eyes where the feeling of time actually lives. Because that is where it lives. We have looked out at the universe and found no flow anywhere in it. Now we look at the one place we have not yet examined, the place doing the feeling. Let me ask you something simple. What is the difference for you between the past and the future? Not in physics, in experience. Sit with it for a moment before I answer, because the answer is so close to you that it is easy to look straight through. Here is the difference. You remember the past, you do not remember the future. That is it. That is the whole of it. Everything you feel about the direction of time, the sense that one way is behind you and the other is ahead, the sense that you are moving from the known into the unknown, all of it rests on this single asymmetry. Your mind is full of the past. It is empty of the future. You carry a vast accumulated store of what has happened and nothing at all of what will. The past presses on you with the weight of everything you have ever lived. The future is a blankness you lean into. And this lopsidedness, this one direction in which your mind is loaded and the other in which it is bare, is the raw material out of which the entire feeling of flow is built. Think about what your experience would be if this were not so. If you remembered the future exactly as you remember the past. If tomorrow sat in your mind with the same settled weight as yesterday, fully known, already there would be no rushing toward you. There would be no unknown ahead. The future would not feel like it was coming, because it would already be as present to you as anything behind you. The whole sensation of being carried forward would collapse, because there would be no forward. Forward is just the direction your memory does not reach. So the arrow you feel, the direction of time, is really the direction of memory. It points the way it does because your mind fills up one way and stays empty the other. And here is the move I want to make slowly, because it is the center of this part. This asymmetry of memory does not just give you a direction, it gives you the feeling of motion. It manufactures the flow. Let me show you how. Consider what your brain is actually doing, moment by moment as you live. It is taking in experience and laying it down, encoding it, storing it, building it into the vast structure of what you have been. And it does this continuously, in sequence, one experience after another, each new moment added on top of all the moments before. Your store of the past is not fixed, it is growing. Right now, as these words reach you, your mind is laying down the memory of hearing them, adding this instant to everything that came before it, and in the next instant it will add that one too, and the next, and the next. Now feel what that continuous laying down is like from the inside. Each moment, your accumulated past is a little larger than it was. Each moment, you have a little more behind you. There is always more memory than there was an instant ago, always one more experience added to the pile. And that steady, relentless accumulation, that sense of the past growing heavier behind you while you press on into the blank ahead, that is the flow. That is the current. The feeling of being carried forward is the feeling of your memory filling, tick by tick, moment by moment, never stopping, never reversing, always adding, never subtracting. Let me put this differently, because it is subtle and I want the picture to be clear. You do not feel time pass because time is passing. You feel time pass because you are a device that lays down memory in order, and the ongoing act of laying it down, the sense of the store behind you growing while the space ahead stays empty, feels exactly like movement, like being swept along. The flow is not something happening to you from outside. It is the felt texture of your own remembering, the sensation of a mind accumulating itself. And here is where I need you to hold two things at once, both true, neither cancelling the other. This is the both and it is the heart of the whole night. The flow is genuinely felt, and the flow is not a feature of the world. Do not let go of either half. The feeling is real. You are not deluded, not malfunctioning, not imagining something that is not there. The sensation of time passing is one of the most real things in your experience, as real as warmth, as real as the sound of your own breathing. When you feel this moment slide into the next, you are feeling something true about yourself, about what it is like to be a mind that remembers. That is not an illusion in the sense of a trick or a mistake. It is a real experience, faithfully reporting a real thing. But what it is reporting is not a river out in the universe. It is the shape of your own memory. And here is where the mistake, the only mistake, quietly enters. We take this real feeling, this genuine sensation of accumulation, and we project it outward. We assume that because we feel time flowing, time must be flowing out there in the world in the same way we feel it. We take a fact about the inside and read it as a fact about the outside. The experience is real, the interpretation is wrong. The flow is a true report about a mind. It is a false report about the cosmos. Let me hold that distinction as carefully as I can, because everything depends on not blurring it. There are two different claims hiding inside the single feeling of time passing. The first claim is, something is happening in me, a continuous laying down of experience that feels like motion. That claim is true. The second claim is, and therefore the universe is flowing forward through moments, carrying everything with it. That claim does not follow, and it is not true. The feeling is honest about the first thing and silent about the second, and we have spent our whole lives mishearing its silence as confirmation. Come back to your body for a moment and feel how intimate this is. That sense you have right now of sitting at the leading edge of your own life, always at the front, always at the newest moment, with everything you have ever lived stacked up behind you and the unlived ahead. That is not you riding a cosmic current. That is you being a creature whose memory only points one way. The leading edge is not a place in the universe. It is the growing tip of your own remembering, the boundary between what you have laid down and what you have not yet reached. You are not at the front of time. You are at the front of your memory. And because your memory is all you have ever known of time, the two have always felt like one. This is why the flow feels so personal, so much like it is happening to you specifically. Because it is happening to you specifically, it is not a feature of the world that everyone shares in the same instant. We already saw that there is no shared instant, no universal now for everyone to ride together. The flow is private because its source is private. It is built freshly inside each remembering mind, out of that mind's own accumulating past. Your flow is the filling of your memory. Mine is the filling of mine. There is no single great current out there because the current was never out there. It was always in here, one for each of us, made of what we each carry. Sit with how much this rearranges. The passage of time, the thing you assumed was the deepest fact about the universe, may be one of the deepest facts about you instead, not about reality, about the kind of thing you are, a being that remembers backward and not forward, and mistakes the growing weight of its own memory for the movement of the world. But I have to be honest with you now, because there is a piece still missing, and if I left it out, you would eventually feel the gap. We have said that memory points one way, that you remember the past and not the future, and that this asymmetry generates the whole feeling of flow. Good, but why? Why does memory point that way? Why do you remember the past and not the future, rather than the other way around, or both, or neither? I have leaned on this asymmetry as if it were simply given, a plain fact about minds. But it is not simply given. It is not a free choice of the brain. Something in the physics of the world makes memory possible in one direction and not the other. Something out there decides which way the arrow of remembering can point. And this is the strange turn we take next. Because after emptying the universe of every flow, after telling you again and again that the equations contain no forward direction, I now have to admit that there is one direction in physics that is real. Exactly one. Not a flow, not a moving now, but a genuine difference between the two ends of time, a real asymmetry woven into the world, and it is the reason your memory can fill the way it does. It is the source of the arrow, the one honest arrow the universe actually has. It is not the passage of time, but it is what makes the passage feel the way it feels. And to understand it, we have to look at the one law of physics that knows the difference between before and after. There is one law of physics that knows the difference between before and after, just one. And to feel it, you do not need any physics at all. You have known it your whole life without ever giving it a name. Drop a glass on a hard floor and it shatters. Pieces scatter across the room. Now wait, as long as you like, and watch for the pieces to gather themselves back up, leap into the air, and reassemble into a whole glass resting in your hand. You will wait forever. It does not happen. A glass breaks, but a glass never unbreaks. Milk swirls into coffee and turns the whole cup a soft, even brown, but the brown never separates back into a clean white ribbon and dark surround. A warm room and a cold cup, left alone, drift toward the same middle temperature, but they never drift back apart, the cup growing colder while the room grows warmer on its own. Smoke spreads out from a fire and thins into the air, but it never draws itself back together and pours down into a tidy plume. You have seen this 1,000 times. It is so ordinary you have never thought of it as a law. But it is one, and it is the deepest thing physics has to say about the direction of time. Things go one way and not the other, from order toward disorder, from gathered toward scattered, from the special and arranged toward the ordinary and spread out. And that one way is what we call, in plain language, the passage from low disorder to high disorder. The word physicists use for the amount of disorder is entropy. And the law is simply this. In the world as a whole, entropy tends to increase, disorder tends to grow, things spread out, mix, cool down, come apart, and do not, on their own, gather back together. Let me define it once more, in the plainest register I can, because this idea carries the rest of the night. Entropy is a measure of how spread out and disordered things are. A low entropy state is special, arranged, gathered, unlikely, like a whole glass or an unmixed cup, or a room with all its warmth in one place. A high entropy state is ordinary, scattered, mixed, likely like shards on a floor, or a uniform brown cup, or a room all one temperature. And the rule, the one honest rule about the direction of time, is that the world moves from the special toward the ordinary, from low entropy toward high, and effectively never the reverse. Here is why it goes only one way, in a single breath. There are very few ways to be a whole glass, and countless ways to be a pile of broken pieces. There are very few arrangements that count as order, and overwhelmingly many that count as disorder. So a system stumbling blindly from one arrangement to the next is almost certain to end up more disordered than it began, simply because disorder is where nearly all the possibilities are. Order is a needle. Disorder is the haystack. Leave anything alone and it drifts into the haystack, because the haystack is almost everywhere. Now here is the thing I need you to see, and it is the pivot the whole night has been building toward. This gives us a real direction in time, a genuine one. The two ends of time are not alike. The past end is the low entropy end, the gathered and ordered end. The future end is the high entropy end, the scattered and spread out end. This is not a feeling. This is not in your head. This is a true physical asymmetry built into the world, a real difference between the direction we call earlier and the direction we call later. After emptying the universe of every flow, I am telling you at last that there is something honest here. The past and the future really are different. Physics really does distinguish them. There is an arrow, and now the concession, and then the pivot, and you must hold them both. Yes, there is an arrow. Entropy gives us a real difference between past and future, a genuine before and after woven into the structure of things. I grant that fully. The direction is not an illusion. It is as real as the broken glass. But an arrow is not a river. A direction is not a flow. Hold those two sentences side by side, because everything rests on the space between them. Entropy tells you which way is later. It does not tell you that anything is moving from earlier to later. It gives you a difference between the two ends of time, the way a slope gives you a difference between uphill and downhill. But a slope does not flow. A mountain that is higher at one end and lower at the other is not moving. It simply has a shape, a direction built into it, a this way and a that way. The arrow of entropy is like the slope of the mountain. It is a real asymmetry in a landscape that is not going anywhere. It points. It does not travel. Let me put this as carefully as I can, because it is the finest distinction in the whole night, and it is easy to let the two collapse back together. Entropy explains why the past is different from the future. It does not explain, because it cannot, a moving present sweeping from one to the other. It gives the block universe a grain, a direction, a way in which one end is unlike the other. But it leaves the block exactly as still as we found it. There is a difference between the ends of time. There is no flow across them. The arrow lies flat in a motionless landscape, pointing from the ordered end to the disordered end, and pointing is all it does. And now let me draw the threads together, gently, because this is where the whole picture finally closes, and it closes on you. Why do you remember the past and not the future? We left that question open, and here is its answer. You can remember only because entropy increases. A memory is a record, and a record is a special, ordered arrangement, a low entropy trace left behind by an event. Laying down a memory is an act of ordering, and every such act is paid for by increasing disorder somewhere else, in your body, in the warmth you give off, in the world around you. Memory is possible in the direction it is possible precisely because the universe as a whole is sliding from order toward disorder, and that slide is what lets ordered records of the past accumulate while the future stays blank. Your memory points backward because entropy points forward. The one asymmetry inside you is the shadow of the one asymmetry outside you. So follow the chain all the way down, because it is complete now. The universe has exactly one honest direction, the increase of entropy, the slope from order to disorder. That direction lets your brain lay down records of what has happened but not of what will. That lopsided memory, full one way and empty the other, generates the feeling of a leading edge, of accumulation, of being carried forward. And that feeling is what you have called your whole life, the flow of time. The felt current inside you is downstream of the only real arrow in the cosmos. It traces back, link by link, to the slope of entropy. And the slope of entropy, the source of it all, does not move. It simply points. Sit with that quietly for a moment, because the confrontation is nearly over now and something softer is arriving in its place. We have taken almost everything apart. The flowing present, gone. The shared now, gone. The river of time, gone. And in the emptied space we have found only this, a vast still landscape of all moments, with a single grain running through it, a direction from the ordered end toward the disordered end. And somewhere within that landscape, a small remembering thing, a mind, accumulating records along the grain, and feeling that accumulation as motion, as passage, as the sweet and sorrowful sense of time going by. Nothing is moving. The landscape is still. The arrow only points, and yet the feeling is not nothing, and it is not a lie. It is what it is like, from the inside, to be a low entropy island gathering memory in a universe that is slowly coming apart. The flow was never out there among the stars. It was here, in the filling of a mind, all along. And this changes how the whole picture feels. Because if nothing is flowing, then nothing is being lost. The moments you thought were slipping away behind you, falling into a past that swallows them, may not be slipping anywhere. They may simply be still there, still real, fixed points in the landscape, as solid as this one. And what that means for you, lying here at what feels like the moving edge of your own life, is the last thing we have to see. It is the quietest part, and it is the part that belongs to you. Let us gather what we have found, slowly, the way you would gather stones you have carried a long way and are finally setting down. We began with a feeling, the most total feeling there is, the sense of time flowing, of this moment sliding into the next, of being carried forward on a current you never chose and cannot stop. We trusted it absolutely, as you have trusted it your whole life, and then, for the first time, we turned and looked at it directly. We went into the equations, the deepest laws we have, the ones that describe reality with a precision that borders on the impossible, and we found a silence where we expected a river. The fundamental laws run the same whether time is read forward or backward. They contain no now, no present moment singled out and set in motion, no flow anywhere inside them. Where you were certain a forward must be written into the world, there was nothing written at all. We went further, into relativity, and found that the silence was not an oversight, but a necessity. There is no single present shared across the universe. Two people moving differently slice the world into now at different angles, and what is present for one is past or future for the other, and neither is mistaken. The shared now, the sheet of the present stretched across all of space, does not exist, and with no single now, there is nothing for a flow to be. No universal current, because no universal moment to carry. The river was not slowed or hidden. It was never there. And then we turned inward, to the one place we had not looked, and found the flow at last. Not in the world, in the mind. You remember the past and not the future, and your brain lays down that memory in sequence, moment after moment, the store behind you always growing, the space ahead always blank. And that ceaseless accumulation, the felt weight of your own remembering filling one way and never the other, is the current. The passage of time is the sensation of a mind gathering itself, mistaken for the movement of the world. And last, we found the source of the direction, the one honest asymmetry the universe actually has. Entropy, the slope from order toward disorder, the reason a glass shatters but never unbreaks, the reason the two ends of time are genuinely unlike. That slope lets memory form in one direction and not the other. It is the arrow behind your arrow, the grain in the landscape, that lets a mind accumulate a past. And even it does not move, it only points. So here is the whole of it, said as plainly as it can be said. The passage of time is not something happening in the universe, it is something happening in you. Let that settle, because it is the resolution the whole night was walking toward, and it deserves to be received slowly. The universe does not flow, It does not sweep forward. It does not carry a lit moment from the past into the future. It simply is laid out, complete, a still landscape of all moments with a single grain running through it. And the flowing, the moving, the passing that you feel so certainly is not a report from that landscape. It is an event inside a mind. It is the feeling of being a remembering thing in a world that does not itself remember. Now, come back to where we began. Come back to the very first thing I asked you to notice, the moment you are in right now. The bare fact of now, seeming to arrive, seeming to depart, sliding into the next, before you can hold it. Feel it again. It is still here. Everything we have said has not loosened its grip even slightly. This moment is still sliding into the next, exactly as it was when we started, and you still feel yourself at the front of it, carried forward, always now. But look at it now, with everything we have found. That sliding is real. You are not imagining it, but it is not the world moving past you. It is your memory filling. The sense of this moment giving way to the next is the sense of one more instant being laid down in you, added to everything you have ever been, while the blankness ahead stays blank a moment longer. The slide is not out there, in reality, slipping by. The slide is in here, in the growing tip of your own remembering. You are not being carried down a river. You are a still point, gathering. And the gathering feels like motion because motion is the only language a remembering mind has ever known for what it is like to fill. Nothing about time actually moves. The title was true. Nothing out there is moving through time because there is no flow in the equations, no shared now to carry, no river anywhere among the stars. The only thing that moves is the feeling, and even the feeling is not really motion. It is memory, mistaken for a current. And here is where I want the unease to soften, because we have arrived somewhere frightening, and I do not want to leave you there. Hold two things at once. One last time, the universe is still, and your life is not diminished by that stillness. Both are true, and the second does not cancel the first. It is tempting, when you first feel the flow dissolve, to feel that something has been taken, that if time does not truly pass, then the moments do not truly matter, that the whole living rush of experience has been reduced to a trick of memory in a frozen world. But turn it over, gently, and see the other face of it. If nothing flows, then nothing is lost. The moments you thought were slipping away behind you, falling forever into a past that swallows them, are not slipping anywhere. They are still there, fixed in the landscape, as real as this one, as solid as the moment you are living now. Every ordinary afternoon you thought was gone, every face you thought time had carried away, every hour you loved and mourned as it passed, none of it fell into nothing. It is all still there, held in the stillness, permanent in a way that a flowing world could never have allowed. The river you feared was carrying everything away was only ever the shape of your own remembering. The world itself lets nothing go. And you, lying here, feeling yourself at the leading edge of your life, you are not being swept toward an end. You are one more region of a landscape that simply is. This moment, the one you are in, is not more real than the others and not less. It is lit up, only because you are standing in it. And when you stand in the next, it will light up too, and this one will not go dark. It will just be behind you, elsewhere, still there. So there is nothing to grip against, nothing rushing at you, nothing falling away. There is only a still, vast world, and a small, remembering warmth inside it, gathering its moments one by one, and feeling that gathering as the sweetest and most sorrowful thing it knows, the passing of time. Let the feeling come now, if it wants to. You do not have to stop it. It was never a mistake. It is what it is like to be you, here, gathering. Feel this moment arrive. Feel it seem to leave. It is not leaving. It is being laid down in you, kept, held in the stillness that keeps everything. The world is not moving. You are only remembering. And the river you always felt, the one you were sure was carrying you, was never the world at all. It was only ever the quiet shape of your own remembering, filling in the dark, moment by moment, while the universe held still around you and let nothing at all be lost.